bit sad about that, really. Matt, I like Dave Rennie, and everything you hear about him, apparently, not that it means you're an amazing coach, lovely bloke. Woke up to the news on Monday morning, and I didn't see it coming. I know Haskell mentioned it last week. I saw him say something. He says a lot of things, but I saw him say something last week that the potential of that happening was there. But I feel for Dave Rennie. Really, really nice bloke. Great with the players. The players love him. And they've gone all in, haven't they? They've taken, I say a risk. They've gone all in. They've gone with Eddie Jones, and the whole thing around Eddie Jones is if anyone can turn Australian rugby around in a short time, he can. The issue is with Eddie Jones, we know, and again, sorry Eddie, this is historically looking, he seems to be like a short-term kind of fix, as in get him in, change things up quickly, quick response. Australian rugby is on its knees. Australian Rugby Union is on its knees. I should say the league seems to be, and the NRL seems to be flying, but I don't know. I don't know. Time will tell. And he's Australian. He's an unbelievable coach and all these things. And I feel bad because it sounds like I keep bagging Eddie Jones. I just think that Australia rugby, from what I've heard and the people that I know there, they need a kind of wider response to change there. I don't think they're going to win the World Cup. Is that why they've brought Eddie Jones in? Maybe they think they've got an opportunity to do it. I don't know. But I'm gutted to see Dave Rennie go. I've got mates in the coaching group as well who speak highly of him. But Eddie Jones, look, more drama. Bloody love that bit of it.
You said that last week, you like the drama. And first and foremost, I'm with you, the whole Dave Rennie thing. It's incredibly sad when someone loses their job in that way. Especially, they've just had a training camp, right? So he's put all the graft in. Done the training camp with all the players, and there was good noises coming out of the training camp. Drew Mitchell was in there with some of the Stan Sport boys doing a bit of behind-the-scenes footage and all this stuff, and it seemed great. Next thing you know, whammo, Eddie Jones is in. So first and foremost, sorry for Dave Rennie. You hope that he got one hell of a payout, because when your job is taken away from you like that, and that quickly, you've got to get a payout, right? Bottom line. Which brings me on to the Eddie Jones thing, and I've got no doubt he'll have a big short-term impact there. I actually had an Australian mate text me last night when the news broke.
Started off by saying, mate.
His words were, he sent me the link to Eddie Jones being named as Australia coach in the release in the press, and he said, oh fuck, just as it looked like our backline might start entertaining people, here comes Eddie. So, that's an Australian who loves his rugby. He'll have an impact, don't get me wrong. The big thing for me is, Bill Sweeney, are you asleep again or what? Because I'd love to know, and I tweeted about it last night, I'd love to know the details, and not all the intricacies of the termination agreement. Eddie Jones was contracted till the World Cup, to the end of the World Cup next year. Now, in business, in sport, in absolutely anything, if you hold that contract over someone to a period of time, you can put them on garden leave. But what they've done is they've got rid of Eddie Jones, and they've allowed him to go and get another job with another union that may knock England out of the World Cup. They may not. Eddie Jones might not have a big impact on Australian rugby, but he might have a massive impact. And there's only, if you've paid Eddie Jones out, how have you not put him on gardening leave, or how have you not restricted him from working for anyone else at the World Cup?
They've shit the bed, Goodey, that's why. And the bed that Bill Sweeney's been lying in for 4 years, like, that is his bed.
But this is the thing, right? And
that is his bed. Like, no one's shitting in it, so do what you want, Eddie.
I put it on social media, and people came back with, oh, you all said he's a rubbish coach and he's got to go. Well, the difference is, while I understand that, what you don't want to do is pay him out and then say, oh, we'll pay you out, but also off you go, you can go and coach someone else. So bizarre from the RFU, bizarre from Bill Sweeney to not have had that written into the contract. And people are like, how can you stop him working someone else? Well, if you hold a contract over a period of time to an end date, you can pay them and stop them working anywhere else. It's called gardening leave. It happens day in, day out. I've got experience of it myself, and it's just, again, the RFU, while you sit there and you say, the only reason to let Eddie Jones go and do that is if they've saved a load of money by allowing him to go and work somewhere else. If Eddie Jones was smart, he could have taken all his money, or pretty much most of his money that he was due, and then not have a restriction to trade, and then obviously go and do the Australia job. So it looks like there's a bit more egg on the face for Bill Sweeney because he's asleep. Or maybe, I'm happy to be corrected, Bill. If you want to come out and tell me the truth, come on here and tell me.
Great for rugby, though.
I mean, it's been The news stories at the minute, day in, day out, there's something exploding that is, and we'll come on to another story in a minute about the whole situation around the RFU. It's brilliant. It's given us talking points. It's in the press. Maybe this is growing the game. Act like amateurs and it grows the game.
Do you think that Eddie Jones's knowledge of England and the European game now will benefit Australia come World Cup time?
Without a shadow of a doubt. It's intel, isn't it? Like, whether you think he's a good coach or not, he knows, and he knows Steve Borthwick inside out. He knows how he coaches. Knows a lot of the players inside out. And even if you think his coaching time's up, and it was effectively for England, England might play Australia in the quarterfinals. Right? England might not play Australia at all the way it could pan out. If Australia win their group, then it might even be in a final. I don't know. Certainly not the quarterfinals if they win their group. So it may have no effect on England at all, but the fact that there is a chance means that the RFU shouldn't have let it happen. And I've got no doubt Eddie Jones, he'll wallow in the press side of it, and there's no coincidence that they announced that last night, just before Steve Borthwick announces his first England squad. They're all Eddie Jonesisms, aren't they? Like he is centre of attention, and that's the way he lives his life and wants to be that way. And if that's up to him. But the RFU have allowed it to happen, and it could be complete egg on their face if something does happen. Nothing might happen of it, but why even risk that opportunity for Eddie Jones to have a huge sort of in-depth knowledge of how England play? And Jim, you know what it's like. You change cool names, but you don't really change structures that much, do you? And you can read a load of traits of the players that he's lived and breathed with for 7 years as England head coach, and it may have a 1 or 2% advantage to Australia if we play them, and it may be the difference. Who knows? We can only time will tell. But the RFU didn't have to put themselves in that position unless it was purely to save money. So until Bill Sweeney tells me otherwise, he's still asleep.
Pod.
Rugby Pod.